Mahurin will jump center for Indiana Wesleyan. Corbin Pierce will do the honors for the Racers. Here is the toss and the tap, and it will go to the Wildcats. They'll be moving left to right here in the first half as we are presented to you tonight by Taylor Kia of Lyman. Nice to have you along with us here on 1150 WIMA tonight. Nice to be back in my home stomping grounds where I worked for 31 years as sports director and the high school play-by-play guy. Now working here for Chris Adams at UNOH. Quick spin in the lane, and the shot up no good by Jacob Johnson. Rebounded by the Racers. So they got it to the rim that time to the Wildcats, but did not convert. Now Sadiq Bello, the point guard, starts with a pass to Pierce in the right wing. He's at the right elbow. Pierce hands back to Bello. Tough man defense by the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. Pierce has it, baseline right, fadeaway 17-footer, no good. Ball slapped into the middle where it's picked up by the Wildcats, and they come back for their second try. Lane Mahurin's going to get to the rim and have his shot blocked, but a foul is called. So Mahurin took it right to the rim from the left side, and Corbin Pierce picks up his first foul.
And Pierce is trying to cover him on the wing, and he just kind of used the stutter dribble and then drove hard to the baseline, drew the foul.
Lane Mahurin on the year is a 79% free throw shooter, looking for the first point of the night and gets it.
An All-American in both his sophomore and junior year, and obviously picked to be an All-American in this his senior season.
Second free throw, Lane Mahurin in and out. Lawrence Jackson clears for UNOH. 1-0 in favor of the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. And the Racers try to take the lead for the first time. LJ hands off to Bello. Bello between the circles. 90 seconds deep into the first half here at Racer Gymnasium. Pierce finds himself open for three. Didn't get the kind bounce, but Jackson tips it in on the weak side.
Lawrence Jackson, the leading rebounder for the Racers, always seems to be in the right place on that offensive board.
Racers have the 2-1 lead in the early going. Indiana Wesleyan has Mahurin spinning in the lane but missing, and Corbin Pierce gets the Racer rebound. So it's one and done so far for Indiana Wesleyan. Bello gets to the rim at the other end and overlays it, but a foul is called. And that'll be on the Wildcats, I believe.
Sadiq Bello showing off his speed. Everybody was on the defensive end of the court. He still found enough crease in the defense to get right to the rim.
Foul on Jacob Johnson. It was on the rebound, not on the shot, so no shooting, but the Racers get the ball back. Open Corbin Pierce missed a shot, but got his own rebound and goes right to the rim and lays it in. So Pierce followed his shot. First rule when you coach sixth graders, follow your shot to the rim. Corbin did it that time, and it paid off. 4-1 UNOH. Quick ball reversal to the left baseline for Indiana Wesleyan. Now they get it on the perimeter, and that shot is no good from Grant Evans. Another Racer rebound. So the Racers have not let Indiana Wesleyan get an offensive board as yet, and UNOH has a 4-1 lead. Wesleyan won this game in Marion last year, 98-59, when the Racers played without Lawrence Jackson. Bello penetrates and dishes to Pierce, who's moved to the left wing. Back to Sadiq out top. He'll go to the left point, find LJ. LJ left block, fadeaway 12-footer. Yes, Lawrence Jackson. From the left baseline, Jackson has scored 4 of the first 6 for the Racers. They've got a 5-point lead. And now a whistle and the ball tipped away by Jackson out of bounds. Good over defense that time on Bob Peters.
Right now, Indiana Wesleyan just trying to get used to the game, the flow of the game. Oftentimes visiting teams take a few minutes to kind of warm up, especially in this gym.
Well, this is such a small gymnasium compared to what most people are used to playing in. It does take a while to get the lay of the land, so to speak. Here's a drive to the left baseline. Shot blocked by the Racers. Recaptured by the Wildcats. They find an open man in the lane, but his 10-footer is no good, and Zaire Anderson just muscles the rebound out. Bello, great bounce pass, and Bradley will finish at the rim. And a timeout call by Greg Tonigal. The Racers off to an 8-1 lead here in their home court. We'll take a 30-second break as well on UNOH. With Bob Sagerson, I'm Mike Bowman. We're back at Racer Gymnasium. Excellent start for UNOH here against the number 3 team in the country. They're up 8-1 with about 3.5 minutes gone. There's a 3 ball that quickly is the first field goal for Bob Peters and the Wesleyan Wildcats. 8-4 our score. Jackson inside for Anderson. Missed the first try. Second time won't go, but he got fouled. And Z knew he bricked that first one, Bob, and went up, got his own offensive rebound and drew the foul against Grant Evans.
Well, give Lawrence Jackson a lot of credit for that, Mike. He came down the floor and saw a crease to the rim, and he took it and drew the defender off Zaire and left Zaire wide open. He missed the easy one, but got the rebounds. Got 2 shots here.
Z from the free throw line puts the first one up and in. And boy, has he ever improved his free throw shooting this year. Bob, last year he was a 53% free throw shooter. This year he's hitting at 73%.
Chris had talked about the improvement of Jackson and Zaire Anderson and their other senior, Beatty. How far they've come in the last year.
There's another good release and free throw made for Zaire Anderson. Z has his first 2. It's 10-4 UNOH. Back come the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan. Stop and pop, and that 3 ball is long off the rim. Back to the Wildcats, and they'll hit from the perimeter this time with Bob Peters hitting his second field goal of the night. You can't let him loose. He's a great 3-point shooter, averaging almost 17 a ball game.
And 42% shooting from the 3-point range for Indiana Wesleyan. If they've got that shot, they're going to take it.
Peters himself shoots 43% from 3 range. There's a nice dish inside. Racers will get it out to the wing, and Lawrence Jackson nails it free. The LJ's feeling it tonight with 3 baskets already and 7 points.
Give the assist there and made that play.
Ball fake, and a shot is going to be off the back flange by Evans. Racers get the rebound. They find Bello up the right side. Sadiq will wrap it up on the wing and bring it out top now to Nate Bradley. Back to Bello, and he'll set the offense. Racers lead 13-7. We played 4.5 minutes. Pierce finds Jackson. LJ turns, shoots, got another one. Lawrence Jackson with 9.
Jackson on fire, and the Racers finding him. That's a good basketball team. They know where the hot hand is, and they're going to it.
Well, LJ was hurt last year when this team played in Marion, and the Racers got thumped by almost 40 points. A much different story tonight, leading by 8 here. Albeit just 5 minutes into the ball game, Indiana Wesleyan will not go away. Pass into the lane, loose ball, and a nice save that time. And then the shot from the left side is no good, and Bello goes up at 5'8" and gets the rebound. Sadiq into that after drive motion, gets into the rim and draws the foul. He put it in overdrive that time, Bob, and he took it all the way to the rim to the right side of the lane and drew the foul.
Showing off his feet there, and
Kanan Coffey, 6'2" freshman, Batavia, Illinois, number 33. And Ben Carlson, a 6'6" junior, Palatine, Illinois, number 42. Sadiq Bello makes the first free throw. That's his first point tonight.
I think Coach Tonigo went to his bench a little earlier than he normally would just to kind of get the momentum changed.
Well, Bello's second free throw also good. Racers doing a number here. Leave it a 10-point lead, their biggest of the evening thus far at 17-7. All right, Jallo is now the point guard in this set. They go to Mahurin. He finds a teammate in the lane, but the little feather shot from 4 feet won't go, and Corbin Pierce grabs the rebound. So Indiana Wesleyan starting off having a real problem in close. Bello, NBA 3, came up short. Jallo gets the rebound for Indiana Wesleyan. They'll set it in the forecourt. Left side pass, then a 3, and that's right down the pipe. That is number 33, Kanan Coffey.
And a little back pick just off their motion offense, and he was wide open.
All 3 Wesleyan field goals thus far have been 3s. They've got 10. The Racers have 17. Bradley gives to Lawrence Jackson, who's had a hot start with 9. Does he get 12? Yes! He hits another 3. LJ is on fire. Lawrence Jackson, 5 field goals already here in the first 7 minutes of play. Jallo posts up Mahurin. He'll shoot and score, left block. Third point of the night for Lane Mahurin, the first-team NAIA All-American.
He looks so comfortable with the ball down in the post, Mike. He just gets the defenders off their feet. He's very patient.
Bradley now on the dribble. Bounce pass off to Ray Beatty, who's checked into the lineup. Now Bello will shoot a 3 and banks it in off of the window.
He called it.
Bello.
You rarely see a 3-point bank from the wing, but he called it. That's his shot.
All righty, here comes Jallo dishing back to the wing. thought about a three. They go to Mahurin instead. He'll come down the left side of the lane and draw a foul on Ray Beatty. And if it's one thing that Ray Beatty is still working through, Bob, as he matures as a postman, is picking up those early fouls.
Yeah, he's had foul trouble his entire career. And now Chris Adams will go to his bench at the 13-minute mark now. He'll bring in 3 more bench players. And this will be a critical point in the game, Mike, because remember, we're up 11 points at this moment. And we'll see if the bench players from the Racers can keep this lead right where it is.
Mahurin makes another free throw.
Willis Mackey. On for Indiana Wesleyan, number 13 is Trevor Waite.
Mahurin will try one more. It is on its way and good. So he's got 5. And the Racers' lead is now 9 at 23-14. Xander Smart on the floor at the point guard now, the junior from Dayton Carroll High School. He feeds Ray Beatty, and Beatty had the ball taken right away from him. That's the first turnover of the night, and quickly we get a Racer foul stopping the breakaway on Nate Bradley.
Beatty just fell asleep, brought the ball down, and kind of showed it to the defense, and the young man from Wesleyan was smart enough to take it right out of his hands.
Also see Desmond Duke on the floor, number 4, 6'2" freshman from Lexington for UNOH. He averages about 4 a ball game. Pass comes to the top of the key, and Trevor Waite, who's in the lineup now. There's a Mahurin shot that won't go, and Duke has the Racer rebound. Ahead for Bradley. Nate will back it up on the left wing and then find Duke out top. Now Smart right wing. Xander gives to Bradley. Open 3, straight away. Front rim, no. Rebound, Indiana Wesleyan. Lead out pass finds Trevor Waite. Waite pushes it to the corner, back to the top of the key. Mahurin with a 3-ball around the iron, no good. Bradley gets another Racer rebound.
Nice ball movement by Wesleyan that time. They got a wide open shot. Shots aren't falling easily for Wesleyan right now.
12:08 left first half on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard, and now Xander Smart almost lost the basketball. Around to Beatty. They give it to Duke. Des goes back to Bradley on the right wing. Nate backs it in, finds Smart. Open 3, right corner. Bullseye, Xander Smart.
They need that scoring out of this group on the floor right now, Mike.
26-14. Racers up by a dozen. Their biggest lead of the night. Jallo hands off on a weave out front to get it right wing to Waite. Waite out top again. Quick ball reversal to the left side. Now the skip pass comes back to the wing. Bounce pass in the paint. Knocked away and stolen by UNOH. And that'll be a foul on Jallo, I believe, as they knock Bradley to the floor. But the turnover was the first of the night on Indiana Wesleyan. And we're going to get some starters back on the floor now for Coach Greg Tonagel. See number 44, Jacob Johnson, come back on the floor, along with number 24, Aaron Murray. He's a 6'10 senior playing for the first time tonight.
Also on for the Racers, number 44, Daniel.
We're going to see Daniel Page come in now for UNOH. He'll go to the post for Ray Beatty. So we've got Page, also Trey Gilliam, the junior from Defiance High School, in for UNOH now. So Chris Adams with 5 non-starters on the floor. We also see number 45, Willis Mackey, in for the first time this year. Willis Mackey has had a heart condition that the doctors have been very careful with. Played sparingly last year, turns now, and then finds an open Gilliam, but he'll give up his shot. Duke is in the lane, 10-footer around, no, tipped by Mackey, won't fall, and then it's out of bounds off of a Wildcat, and the Racers catch a break there.
Yeah, Mackey was right in the right position. He almost had a chance to dunk that tip back. He just shot a little too carefully.
11:03 left first half. Remember, Willis hasn't played an organized competition yet this year, so this is all new to him as he'll have to work his way back into game shape. And now Daniel Page had the ball kick off his leg. It'll go into the backcourt. That'll be an over and back. Yeah. Unforced error again for the Racers.
Not a great pass that time. It was a little too hard to handle for Page, and they turned it over.
10:57 left first half. Racers lead 26-14 over the number 3 team in the country, Indiana Wesleyan University out of Marion, Indiana. Here's a drive from the left side right to the rim with a basket, and a foul goes Jacob Johnson.
Page makes his second mistake. He allows his man he was guarded to just drive right past him to the basket, fouls him on the layup try, so it's a 3-point play. He's going to come out.
Number 12.
All right, Daniel Page was in the lineup momentarily. We'll get Zaire Anderson back on the floor now, along with Corbin Pierce for UNOH. Chris Adams not going to let this lead slip away easily. He's going to get some frontline troops back on the floor now. We've got Lane Mahurin also back in the lineup now for Indiana Wesleyan. He's their leading scorer at almost 19 a ball game. Meanwhile, Jacob Johnson, who averages 12 and a half, will get to the free throw line with an and one. One shot for Johnson coming up.
Coach Donegal getting his All-American back into the game after only about a minute's rest. He wants him on that floor because he needs scoring right now.
Well, the free throw didn't go, but the rebound went out of bounds off of the fingertips of Corbin Pierce, so the Wildcats catch a break.
And 2 or 3 mistakes now in a row for the Racers, and if you're Chris Adams, you just don't want that to turn into a pattern.
All right, inbounds play. Looking left to the right wing, rather, out of the three-point shot from the right corner. It's no good, but Johnson got a rebound, then missed the stick-back try, and it's out of bounds off the Racers. So a couple of misses again by Indiana Wesleyan. They, at the first media timeout, Bob, Indiana Wesleyan was shooting only 20% of 2 and 10.
They also only had 3 rebounds. They were being rebounded by the Racers 8-3, and that's starting to change right now.
All right, Wesleyan will inbound from their own baseline, which is tough to do here at Racer Gymnasium. They throw it in deep to Jacob Johnson. Ball reversal to the left wing now, and Bob Peters, who's back on the floor. He had a couple of early threes. They post it inside. They find Mahurin, and he scores over Corbin Pierce.
Beautiful pass. There was no way the defense could get to that. Pass led Mahurin right to the rim.
The Racer 12-point lead has dwindled to 8. Lawrence Jackson also back on the floor now for UNOH. LJ had a real hot start. Gets the ball here. They've got Mahurin on him defensively. He'll shoot over him anyway and bury it. That's what an All-American does to an All-American. He says, I see your hand in my face. I'll just make a 3 anyway. And a near steal by the Racers off the inbounds play, but the Wildcats keep it alive and cross the center court line. Johnson takes it to the top of the circle. Right side bounce pass to Grant Zawadzki. Zawadzki bounces to the block from Mahurin right side. Out top, Johnson open, shoots a 3 and hits a 3. Jacob Johnson. Well, you know this Wesleyan team can shoot lights out, and then we get a whistle.
Indiana Wesleyan fouls.
Alongside Bob Sagerson, I'm Mike Mullen back at Racer Gymnasium after the second and final media timeout of the first half. Racers have possession and a 7-point lead at 28-21. They're led by as many as a dozen over this Indiana Wesleyan team, ranked 3rd in the country, and 14-1 coming to Lima tonight. Lawrence Jackson with it again. Defense comes up on him. He gives it up, gets it back. Jackson top of the circle. Spins, shoots from the foul line. Off the front rim, no. Rebound to Indiana Wesleyan and Bob Peters. Pass into the forecourt, goes back to Peters. He'll miss a 3 this time. And on the rebound, putback try, Jacob Johnson gets fouled. He went strong to the rim that time, Bob. And a Racer went up over the back.
Yeah, it was actually a good call. He while he was trying to put it back, his arms were grabbed, so he's going to get 2 shots. And this last time I was watching the huddle, Mike, and Indiana Wesleyan coach was exhorting his defender to get right up and right into Lawrence Jackson so he couldn't get a free shot. And that time he was guarded very, very closely by his defender so that he had no room to move.
And it altered his shot, as we saw that time. Johnson makes the first of 2 free throws, so he can cut the lead to 5 here, and he missed the second one, and LJ grabs the Racer rebound. So Wesleyan only 4 of 7 at the free throw line here in the first half. We're down to the 9-minute mark. Men only tonight. Ladies have the night off. They don't play again until Lourdes comes to town next Wednesday night. And here's a pass by Bello that's intercepted by Peters. Peters going to take it coast to coast and miss, but draw the foul. So the Racers commit their 3rd turnover, and it's going to cost them at minimum 2 free throws.
Well, it was a difficult pass because it was a perimeter pass. It was intercepted. It allowed Bob Peters to catch the ball and then attack the rim. It was a wide open court for him, and he ended up drawing a big foul here. And you can sense right now that Wesleyan's getting a little more comfortable on the offensive end, particularly. They're scoring with a little more ease.
Peters with his first free throw. It's up and good. So Peters actually makes both free throws. Missed the first time, and the Racers call a timeout now. We're going to keep it right here with 8:50 left to play in the first half. A quick 30 for Coach Chris Adams, Bob, and he's seen a 12-point lead melt.
Really put a dent into this.
All right, program note tomorrow night here on 1150 WIMA. Great high school matchup. Middletown coming to Lima to take on the Lima Senior Spartans, one of the great all-time rivalries in high school sports. Mike Miller will have the call tomorrow night in place of Todd Walker, who will be off following Bowling Green tomorrow. And then the Racers commit another turnover. They try to go alley-oop into the middle, and Corbin Pierce's pass was picked off. So the Racers have 4 turnovers now to only 1 for the Wildcats. Mahurin takes it left block, playing against Pierce. He goes around him, and the senior scores.
I mean,
that's why he's a first-team All-American.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Pierce is going to be able to guard him if he gets the ball down that low in the block.
Now Nate Bradley has it for UNOH. So the Racers have cooled off. Indiana Wesleyan has heated up a bit, and we're almost dead even. 28-26 Racers. Lawrence Jackson lost the handle on his own dribble and turned the ball over going inside. Well, the Racers have had all kinds of problems here. And here's a wide-open bounce pass to Jacob Johnson coming in from the left block. He lays it up and in. We are tied at 28 here at Racer Gymnasium. And now we get a Wesleyan foul as Bello went in hard and went down hard. And I hope he's not seriously hurt. He went down really hard on that.
Cut under his eye. It looks like a boxer's cut. You know, they're bandaging it right under his arm. He must have taken a pretty good shot.
All right, Xander Smart nails the free throw.
Smart, a young man, has been in the program now for 3 years and didn't play a lot the first couple of years, but he's a good player out of Dayton. Carroll plays well, and he knows his role, and he's given them solid minutes this year.
Well, he's a left-hander, and the second free throw, nothing but net. So Smart hits both free throws to give the Racers a 2-point lead again. And now he will leave, and Desmond Duke will play guard along with Nate Bradley, while Sadiq Bello gets more medical attention from the Racer trainer.
Duke a better defender, so they're going to put him on a defensive situation here.
And Saiku Jallo brings it across the timeline for Indiana Wesleyan. Passes it off to Kanan Coffey. Coffey looking for Peters, instead goes to Jacob Johnson. Now back to Jallo again. This is Coffey. Back to Peters. Long three, no good. Rebound, Lawrence Jackson. Well, LJ's cooled off after getting 15 points in about the first 10 minutes of play. We haven't seen much from him offensively. Of course, they've changed defenses, and now Willis Mackey needs help in the corner. Finds LJ. Skip pass out to Duke. Duke down the left side. Finds Mackey. Mackey will drive into the paint and shoot and be called for a travel before he gets the shot off, and it took away a basket.
He had the right idea. He just took one long step. He didn't come to a jump stop. He picked his foot up.
That's the inactivity for Willis. He'll improve on that. 30-28 Racers our score. Racers at one point led by a dozen.
That's another turnover, Mike.
And it's their 6th turnover after they went through the first 5 minutes without any. And to the block, we get a block from Willis Mackey. Mackey blocked the Bob Peters shot out of bounds. So that's what he can do defensively. He's a rim protector, and he showed it right there. And we're going to get a whistle. All right, we're back in action, and it doesn't take Wesleyan long to tie the ball game. They run a wide-open inbound pass to Lane Mahurin, and he gets a wide-open, uncontested layup out of it. We're tied at 30.
Just a very simple little pick and roll inside that both players went with the guy who came off the pick, left the All-American all alone.
Anderson shoots from the right wing, and Z knocks down a 15-footer. Not normally his shot, but he buried that one to put the Racers back up by 2, 32-30. Bounce pass to the block and Mahurin. Mahurin turns in the lane, little baby hook lefty, and got the soft roll. 13 for Lane Mahurin. He's the NAIA first-team All-American. He was 3rd team as a sophomore, 1st team as a junior, and very likely going to be 1st team All-American again here for this Indiana Wesleyan team. He has 13 points. We're tied at 32. Racer basketball. And Bellows back on the floor after he got that cut below his right eye patched up, and we got a Indiana Wesleyan foul out front.
They're doing a really nice job of not letting Sadiq Bello get the ball once he gets into his offense in the half court. Oftentimes they go through a couple passes and he gets the ball back out and then runs some offense with him. But they're really working not to let him get the ball back, and they're being very physical about it. That time they got caught. And
the foul was on Saiku Jallo. It was the 7th team foul on Indiana Wesleyan. So 1-1 now for Sadiq Bello, and the first one's good. Bello, a really solid ball player out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Very patient player, and he's had to be patient here because they've really focused on him. He's got 6 points.
That was his 7th, by the way, and there's number 8 right there. So 2 free throws for Sadiq Bello. Racers a perfect 8 for 8 at the line here in the first half and lead by 2, 34-32. Well, apparently they only gave Bello a 2 on one of those shots. Now, I just can't count real well. He's got 7 points. You're right. All right, we're back in action. Racers leading by 2, playing their tough 1-3-1 zone, it looks like now. Switching defenses against this Indiana Tech team. 9 on the shot clock. Pass into the paint, knocked free. Jack Johnson picks it up. They get it to the wing, and the 3 ball is no good. And Bello gets fouled in the backcourt after he grabbed the rebound. That will be on number 20, Joel Okafor, a 5'11 sophomore from Lagos, Nigeria. Just on the floor now for Coach Greg Tonigal and this Indiana Wesleyan team.
Mike, one of the things that's so difficult about Bello is when he gets the ball, he'll dribble into traffic. He'll dribble right into 2 or 3 players, defenders, and I don't think they're used to it. So they get into the scramble and they reach, and he's already, and they knock him over. He just dribbles right into the defense.
Bello now front end of a 1-and-1 again. Perfect. So Sadiq now has 8 points. And the Racers build the lead back to 3, 35-32. Their biggest margin was 12 about halfway through the first half. Then they went into a turnover situation where they committed 3 of them on 3 possessions, all leading to Wesleyan baskets. And that lead evaporated, but now they've got it back to 4 with 2 free throws from Sadiq Bello. 36-32 Racers, 5:10 to play on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard in the first half. Mahurin on the wing, can't dribble and has the ball taken away. That's only the 2nd turnover for the Wildcats. Racers tried to push, but the defense was there. Bradley dumps it into the block, and then it's knocked out of bounds and away from Ray Beatty. It's a good look by Bradley trying to find the big man on the right block, but good overplay by Wesley and knocked it out of bounds.
That time, the All-American Blaine Mahurin was a little slow getting down the floor, Mike. It looked like he took a blow to the head.
Corbin Pierce takes the inbounds pass, fires it back out top to Nate Bradley, and he'll hand to Bello. Racers have 12 to shoot. Bello out near the timeline. Off a screen, comes left side. Now raises for 3, no good. Rebound to Okafor of Indiana Wesleyan. And it's knocked away from him, and oh my goodness gracious. We had a terrible collision between 2 Racers in the backcourt as Lawrence Jackson and Sadiq Bello, I mean, they had a major head-on collision.
And in the locker room to get that cut tended to, I think it opened up that cut even more.
Bradley's going to be at the free throw line in his place, and he makes the first of a 1-and-1. So Nate Bradley has his 3rd point of the night. And the Racers are getting the job done at the free throw line. 2nd one up, and that's good. So Nate Bradley has 4. The Racers up 38-32, 4.5 minutes till halftime. Across the timeline comes Trevor Waite. Waite hands it off to Mahurin. Mahurin with a bounce pass left side and right through the wicket that time. An unforced error, very rare, as the pass unable to be gathered in by Bob Peters. 3rd turnover for the Wildcats. Jackson tosses it in deep to Corbin Pierce, and he'll hand to Desmond Duke. Duke, one of the 2 freshman guards. He and Nate Bradley coming to the program as freshmen this year, and both seeing quite a few minutes of varsity time here with this Racer program as true freshmen. Duke will lob it to Lawrence Jackson. 2 players fall down. LJ gives it back to Bradley. 3 ball, good. Nate Bradley. Big 3 right there. Pushes the Racer lead back to 9. 41-32.
Wesleyan looks a little unsettled right now in the last 2 or 3 possessions. They had a couple turnovers, very unlike them.
It's Wildcat basketball in the half court. Grant Evans at the point, still on the dribble. Left side pass to Waite, back to Evans. Evans will come to the right side and hand on the weave to Peters. Back to Evans. 3 from the right corner is way short. Racers Ray Beatty rebounds. To Duke, quickly to Bradley. Behind the back pass to Corbin Pierce. Pierce needs help. We're down near the 3-minute mark of the half. Duke penetrates, dishes back for Pierce, and another 3 is down the pipe.
That was big because Pierce is finally on the board there, and they've been waiting for him. He's a scorer. If he gets hot, then that's just one more thing to Wesleyan to worry about.
5 points for Corbin Pierce, and again the Racers build to their biggest lead of the night at 12. This was a tie ball game at 32, folks, and the Racers have had 12 unanswered until Jacob Johnson gets into the lane and hits a left-handed hook shot.
Back Pierce back into the paint.
So a 12-0 run by UNOH after a 32-all tie. Put them up 12. Now they're up 10 at the 2:30 mark of the first half. Duke to Lawrence Jackson. LJ right side for Nate Bradley. Back to Jackson. Raises. Fires. Hits. Lawrence Jackson with his 4th 3 of the ball game.
Defender right in his shorts with him, Mike. He just buried it right over the top of the defense.
13-point lead for the Racers. And the plot is blocked by Corbin Pierce coming in off Jacob Johnson's hands. So Johnson tried Pierce on the left baseline, didn't work. UNOH on a little run here near the end of the half. Have opened up their biggest margin at 47-34, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Ray Beatty. Beatty called for pushing off before he caught that pass. So that is his second personal, but it's also team turnover 7.
Yeah, that hurt. They had a chance of possession to build on this lead and to get position. He used his arm to push off on his defender. Defender went to the floor. That was an easy call for the official to make.
All right, Wesleyan makes some changes. We see number 42, Ben Carlson, back in. He played momentarily early in the first half, but back on the floor now. And we've got Mahurin and Zawadzki, the 2 in the backcourt. Although Mahurin simply inbounded, and now Grant Zawadzki runs the point. Young man out of Troy, Ohio. Backside alley-oop for Mahurin. Good defense by Willis Mackey, and they take it away. Mackey caused that turnover. Picked up loose by Corbin Pierce. Racers go to the right block with Mackey, and he is going to be called for a travel.
He hasn't made much of his minutes tonight. He's new on the floor. He hasn't had a lot of action, but he's had turnovers when he's had the ball.
He's a diamond in the rough, though. If this kid ever learns the game, he can be something else.
No, I agree, but, these turnovers end up killing him.
And now Peters will go to the left side, use the left hand, and miss a hook shot, but there to tip it in was Ben Carlson. His first 2 of the night. 47-36 UNOH. 75 seconds left till the halftime break, and almost another Racer turnover. Knocked out of bounds by Peters away from Lawrence Jackson. We still have not seen Sadiq Bello back. Well, he's over there on the bench now. I think he got patched up, but I think Chris will keep him quiet here for the remainder of the first half with the Racers up 11. Corbin Pierce takes the ball straight away, top of the key. Gives to Desmond Duke. Duke will back it out between the circles. Using a little shot clock now, down to 10. Duke gives to Willis Mackey. Back to Duke. Duke will come off a pick, give it to Lawrence Jackson. Turns, shoots, got it. Lawrence Jackson, 20 first half points. The Racer All-American doing his job tonight. 49-36 UNOH. 45 seconds left. Mahurin for 3. No. Pierce gets a UNOH rebound. Outlets to Duke. Duke up the right side to the middle. Now left side pass. Xander Smart open 3. Didn't go. Johns Lawrence Jackson rebounds, but too far under to put it back. He'll find Mackey, and Mackey had his foot on the sideline when he caught the pass.
Mike, he's going to have to get Mackey off the floor right now. He's just not comfortable on the floor. And every time he touches the ball, it's been a turnover. But he's going to be there, Mike. Right now, he's just really
well, it's his first game of the season.
Right. He just takes a while to get used to the flow. He wants to play, that's for sure.
13-point Racer lead. then Indiana Wesleyan will hold for the final shot of the half, very likely. Zawatsky crosses the timeline. 16 seconds left till halftime. Xander Smart guarding Grant Zawatsky. Bounce pass to the high post and Grant Evans. And then an interception by Zaire Anderson, poking away to Duke. Duke into the forecourt, and they block it away. It'll go out of bounds with 0.6 of a second left. Racers forced the 5th turnover after Zaire Anderson made the steal. And then Indiana Wesleyan plays great defense at the other end. Now Willis Mackey will come back for Zaire Anderson quickly. With only 0.6 of a second on the floor, Coach Chris Adams doesn't want to risk a second foul on Z in some crazy situation. So they'll put Xander Smart into inbound from the near sideline. This is going to have to be a touch and shoot for UNOH. Smart will throw it into Jackson. He got it off in time, but he missed the 3 try in heavy traffic from the left wing. But a great first half for the University of Northwestern Ohio as they take the number 3 team in the country to the woodshed. Spent the rest of the first half on the bench, but he will start the second half and takes the inbounds pass, and here we go. Racers moving left to right here in the final 20 minutes.
Mike, oftentimes the ball goes inside on an out-of-bounds place and into the second half.
Here's the back cut, and there's Jackson to catch and score. Good assist for Corbin Pierce, and LJ now with 21 on the night.
That's the play they like to run. That time he went backdoor and beat his man.
Back come the Wildcats. Johnson gets in traffic, lost it. Mahurin gets it, got too far under, and then drew the foul. Corbin Pierce went straight up, but they called a body block on Jacob Johnson. So Corbin Pierce is going to pick up his second personal, and it'll be the first team foul of the second half against UNOH, but a shooting foul for Lane Mahurin, who had 13 in the first half when the Wildcats went 6 of 9 at the free throw line, and they're now 7 of 10.
UNOH defended that very well. They were kind of lucky for Wesleyan. The ball kind of popped right back under the basket to their All-American, and he got a shot off.
Second free throw up and good. Mahurin hits both free throws, and it is now 51-38 UNOH. Little pressure by the Wildcats, but nothing serious. Nate Bradley will bring it into the forecourt for the Racers. They go to a double high stack offense. They bring Jackson out of it, but he's hounded out there by Peters defensively. LJ right by Peters to the rim to score. No contest. LJ got the step on Bob Peters, and it was see you later. 53-38, biggest lead for UNOH as Jallo goes inside and misses. Then a rebound foul. I think it's going to be against, not sure who, might have been over the back. No, it's on Bello, they call.
I think he got it right. He just called the foul very late.
So Saiku Jallo will be at the line now for 2, and his first one is good, and that is his first point tonight. He played in the first half and picked up a couple of fouls, did Jallo. He is a junior out of Bloomington, Indiana. Second one, no good. Jackson rebounds for UNOH. So it's 53-39 now. The Racers have the lead and the ball. A little over a minute into the second half. Bradley, right in front of his bench across the way, hands to Corbin Pierce, right side to Bello. Sadiq working on Jallo defensively. Sadiq back and forth on the shake and bake. Off to Bradley. Open 3. No good. Rebounds battled around. Controlled by the Racers. Blocked inside. Still a battle. And finally Corbin Pierce wins it. That was a battle of men.
Corbin Pierce showed off why he has the potential to be a big-time player here. That was great effort.
Biggest lead of the night for the Racers at 16. 3 balls straight away. And it's now 13 after the shot by Grant Evans. So Evans hits for the first time tonight, and the 16-point lead drops to 13, 55-42, UNOH. Bello across the timeline, going to go right to the rim with a scoop to the hoop, and it misses. Tried the reverse layup. Back come the Wildcats. Good bounce pass. Johnson with a catch, but he missed the shot, and then the rebound goes out of bounds to the Scarlet and Gray from Indiana Wesleyan.
On the offensive end, Bello tried to do a scoop reverse layup. He should have laid the ball up on the side he was on. It was too difficult. Level of the difficulty about a 10 on that shot, Mike.
Yeah, he did the best he could with it.
Yeah, he did.
Jackson will get a quick rest for UNOH now, and Xander Smart will give him a breather. Here's the lob pass into Mahurin, and he can't find the handle. It's a turnover, and the 7th of the ball game against Indiana Wesleyan.
The play was actually there. The pass was just a little too long. They do a great job of finding their All-American inside.
Bello works now one-on-one across the timeline. UNOH leads by 13. That was the lead they had at the halftime break. We've gone 2.5 minutes deep into the second half. Bello lobs it to Pierce right of the key. Corbin working against Peters. Backs into him. Gets to the baseline. Corbin Pierce still tries to muscle it up. Threw it up short. And it's going to be out of bounds off of Zaire Anderson, who really crashed into that wall. I tell you, Z gives up his body unlike most anybody else on this Racer lineup. He was battling for that rebound, and he went into that cinder block wall. Yes, it has about a 2-inch pad, but it's still solid concrete behind that. It actually was last touched by a Wildcat, so the Racers keep possession, leading 55-42. Bello, deep left corner, 3-ball, count it, Sadiq Bello.
Tough shot, guarded.
That's 12 for Sadiq, 58-42, UNOH, 16:50 to play in this basketball game. Johnson drives, count the hoop, and a Racer foul. Jacob Johnson, a 6'6 junior who averages 12.4 a ball game, now has 12 on the night and will shoot for 13 after the personal by Bello, which is his third. And that's a bit of trouble for Chris Adams right now. He cannot afford to lose Sadiq Bello.
He's going to have to go to his bench here pretty quick and get him out of there.
Free throw is up and good for Johnson, his 13th point of the night. And the Racers have a 58-45 lead. And now we've got a whistle on the backcourt. The ball was tipped out of bounds by a Wildcat on the inbounds play. And Bello will go to the bench momentarily. Desmond Duke replaces him, and we're going to see Ray Beatty in for Zaire Anderson.
Zaire Anderson, I think, is still hurting from the crash he had on the floor. It looks like he hurt his finger.
All right, here's Desmond Duke now, and he will be double-teamed in the backcourt. The ball's taken away. Jallo has it. Off to Peters for a three. No. Rebound tipped to Mahurin, and he'll stick it back. 17 for Mahurin after turnover 10 against UNOH. 58-47 Racers.
Without Jackson and Bello on the floor right now, UNOH has got a little pressure on them to try to score.
Here is a 3-ball Bradley. No. Rebound tip to Mahurin. Wildcats push it up with Jallo. Jallo to the top of the circle. Down the lane he goes. Little flutter shot. No. And a rebound foul going on the Racers, I think. And boy, the Racer fans and Coach Adams don't like that call. Neither does Ray Beatty.
That's a good call. He corrected the call. It was an obvious call.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right, now we got so it was 23, not 32. So Lane Mahurin gets called for his second personal foul. And UNOH will inbound against full court pressure, and there's a steal by Wesleyan. They shovel it inside, and then the ball sticks between the rim and the glass on the right side of the hoop, and that's like a held ball. So you go to the possession arrow, and it will favor Wesleyan.
Well, this group that's on the floor right now has had all kinds of trouble just bringing the ball to the floor. So he's bringing Sadiq back in the game and Jackson to try to get some ball handlers.
He desperately needs the ball handling ability of point guard Sadiq Bello, so he's back on the floor. And now Johnson will go to the rim after the inbounds pass, and Jacob Johnson scores his 15th point. So Indiana Wesleyan battling back with pressure now. So Bello and Desmond Duke are your two guards for the Racers. And Duke will run the point. Sadiq has to be careful of the foul situation. And we're going to get a quick 30-second timeout for Chris Adams. We'll keep it here because they're going to get the media break momentarily. Chris likes to do that, Bob. Get that about 30 seconds before the media's hurt and missed about 7 or 8 games around the Christmas break. Desmond Duke inbounds to Lawrence Jackson against Jacob Johnson. He'll give it off to Pierce. Now Bello. Bello, right elbow. Dribbles to the top of the key. They'll use some shot clock. with a 9-point lead. Sadiq penetrates, dishes. It's Duke to the rim and scores. Desmond Duke got it right to the rim for his first two.
He's getting a lot more comfortable at the college level. Remember, he's just a freshman.
60-49 Racers. 15-20 left in the ball game. UNOH trying to pull off a major upset of the number 3 team in the country here in Lima tonight. Oh, there's a breakaway. Saiku Jallo got by his man defensively and went uncontested to the rim for a layup.
That's how they've scored, Mike. They've scored by driving, not on jump shots.
60-51 UNOH. Bello again running the scene. Gives to Desmond Duke off a screen from Corbin Pierce. He'll find Willis Matthews on the floor now. Back to Sadiq. Sadiq with 10. Drops it to Pierce. 3-ball. No good. Rebound. Out of bounds. Off of a racer. Looked like Lawrence Jackson went flying through the air that time trying to grab that rebound, but it went off his hand out of bounds, and we'll get the media timeout.
Wesleyan now 5 for 9 in the second half. Their shooting has picked up, and UNOH will go to his own.
All right, Racers back defensively. Jallo, left side pass, comes to Kanan Coffey. Back to Jallo. They bounce it to Mahurin. He's got an open foul line jump shot, and he buries it. Lane Mahurin, there's that excellent passing that Coach Chris Adams was talking to us about in the pregame show, where this Indiana Wesleyan team, as good as it comes at this level of college basketball, at distributing the ball to the people that need to get it. So the lead is 7 now for the Racers. They led by 13 in the first half. Indiana Wesleyan got back to a tie, and the Racers went up by 13 at half again. Jackson misses a 3 for UNOH, and a rebound to IWU.
Give Wesleyan a lot of credit. Their defense has been the difference here in the first 6 minutes of the second half.
Saiku Jallo now away from the ball. We get a whistle and a foul. That's going to be on the Racers. And I think Corbin Pierce.
Oh, that hurts because that's his third foul, too.
3 fouls on Corbin Pierce, but more importantly, 5 team fouls now on UNOH. And we're going to see Daniel Page in for Pierce, and Nate Bradley replaces Desmond Duke on the floor for Coach Chris Adams. 7-point Racer lead. This has been a seesaw night. Racers had a big lead. Wesleyan came back to tie, and now we got, on an inbounds play, we got another whistle. I think the ball was tipped back out of bounds by the Racers, so Indiana Wesleyan will do it again. So the Racers jumped to the big lead, saw IW come back to tie it, and the Racers went up to a 13-point lead again at halftime, led by as many as 16 early second half, but now it's down to 7. Jallo, the give and go, wide open to catch and score is Ben Carlson. Well, again, the Racers losing their people defensively here, and it's a 5-point game.
That time they went after Daniel Page again.
Page will give it up to Nate Bradley. Bradley off to Bello. Bello to Lawrence Jackson. LJ has been fairly quiet here in the second half so far. Gets to the right baseline. They double team him, and he saves the ball. But then an overplay and a steal by Jallo in the backcourt is the third Racer turnover this half. And we're going to get a reach foul on a Racer at midcourt on Lawrence Jackson.
I think a frustration foul by Jackson. He's only got, I think it's his first foul, but the point is it gets him 6 fouls with 13 minutes to go in the half. They're going to be shooting free throws, and this is an excellent free throw shooting team, so that's not a good sign.
All right, still all kinds of time left here in Lima tonight, and Indiana Wesleyan finding themselves on the ropes, the number 3 team in the country, down by as many as 16, but they're fighting back here, and they're back within striking range at 5. Carlson off on the weave. Now Mahurin, and he just lost the handle, but the Racers miss a chance to make a steal, and it cost them 3 from the right wing from Kanan Coffey.
Sometimes things just go your way.
The Racers had a steal in progress that time, but it slipped off a fingertip. The Wildcats recovered, got a 3-ball to go down, and it's a 2-point game, 60-58 UNOH.
And give Wesleyan's defense the credit in this second half. They have just forced UNOH into some tough shots.
Jackson at the top of the key, one too many dribbles, another turnover for the Racers. Here come the Wildcats with a chance to take the lead, but the 3-ball is no good, and Bello has it for UNOH. He'll push. Sadiq A nice dish off to Bradley, but he can't find a shot. But Z is there and then mishandles the layup. Zaire Anderson right to the rim that time for the right side. A bunny, but did not convert. Rebound, Indiana Wesleyan.
Wesleyan with a chance to tie or take the lead.
And timeout is called on the part of Indiana Wesleyan. They'll take a full timeout. We'll take a break as well on the Citizens National Bank scoreboard. Just what you thought it would be with number 3 against number 25. 11:50 WIMA, but we got a lot to finish here. 11:57 left, a 2-point ball game, and Indiana Wesleyan coming out of their own timeout with a chance to tie or take the lead. Wing left pass to Coffey. Now on the block for Carlson, but he traveled with it.
That time Page did a nice job guarding the post, forced the Wesleyan player into a turnover, but they're going to continue to press.
That's turnover 9 against Indiana Wesleyan tonight. Bello against pressure in the backcourt. Grant Sawatsky back on the floor now for IW. Bello takes it into the forecourt. Right side pass to Bradley. One thing the Racers have done a little more tonight, Bob, that we did not see them do in other games. They're dribbling a lot more out front rather than those quick passes to set up an open player. Here's Bello. Fadeaway shot right baseline. No good. Carlson rebounds for Wesleyan. Into the forecourt they come and almost lose it. And then a poke away and out of bounds by Zaire Anderson will mean that the Wildcats will inbound from the near sideline.
Like in the first 9 minutes of the second half, UNOH is unable to get into any offense in half court. The pressure by Wesleyan in their full court and half court defense has forced them so far out on the floor that they can't get looks. And at the same time, they've limited the 3 big scorers of UNOH. They just can't get the ball.
All right, Wesleyan basketball. Coffey, right side pass to Grant Evans, who's checked back in. Now Coffey again, straight away 3, won't go. Rebound, Daniel Page. And it will be a foul on Ben Carlson of Wesleyan.
No, I think
Indiana Wesleyan foul is on number 42, Ben Carlson.
Carlson picked up the personal, and that's his first, team's third this half.
Like the benches are playing right now for the most part.
Bello takes the inbounds pass, and everybody backs off. Racers still up 2 at 60-58. They led by 16 earlier this half. So Wesleyan has fought back big time, as they did in the first half, only to see the Racers move up again and take the lead, but 13 into the locker room. Bradley, backside pass, Bello. Sadiq needs some help. He finds Anderson. Z turns in the lane, dumps it inside to Page, who wasn't ready for the ball, but got lucky because the Wildcat hit it off his knee, and it went out of bounds to the Racers.
3 seconds on the clock.
Lawrence Jackson will come in. Willis Mackey will come in here with only 3 ticks to put it in play and get a shot away. So Jackson and Anderson, or rather Gilliam and Anderson go to the bench. Coach Chris Adams wants to run an inbounds play here. Lawrence Jackson, the trigger man. 10:34 left in the second half. And a whistle. Foul on number
52.
52. Sawatsky.
He basically mugged Bello. They're very physical right now. The whole game is getting pretty physical.
And I think the officials are going to talk to him right now. They're going right over to both Bello and Sawatsky and explaining that we like competition, guys, but this is not mud wrestling.
Well, they only got 3 seconds to get this. No, they got the whole clock.
They got the clock back because of the foul. And now we're going to get an offensive foul on UNOH on the inbounds play. Nate Bradley called for an offensive foul, so that'll be a turnover. And the 14th of the ball game.
Well, this is a 2-point game now. It means they've carved 11 points off a UNOH lead in the first 10 minutes of the second half. UNOH needs a spark right now, Mike. They really need a spark.
It's been a game of runs. Racers had an early run. Then Wesleyan tied it. Then the Racers went ahead by 13. Now the Wildcats have come back within 2. Mahurin turns right of the key. Around Jackson. They double team him, and he throws the ball away as Bello makes the steal. Spins around one man, into the paint. Floater from 8 foot, no good. Rebound to the Wildcats. They'll push the other way. And to the rim with a shot that falls with a foul goes Mahern, I think.
He ran the floor, and Zawatsky made a beautiful bounce pass to him in traffic right by the rim, and got a chance to put his team ahead for the first time since the opening warm-up of this game.
Yep. So Lane Mahern goes to the line with a chance to add to his already 21-point total.
Mike, now the question comes, can UNOH respond like they did in the first half when Wesleyan closed on them? Can they respond here in these next several minutes to keep this a basketball game? Because there's no question that Wesleyan has all the momentum right now.
For the Wildcat lead, Mahern converts the free throw. So Indiana Wesleyan on top for the first time since they led 1-0. 61-60 our score in favor of the Wildcats, and Chris Adams wants a timeout. The first thing he'll do is question the official who called the offensive foul. The second thing he'll do is talk to his charges. We got a break in the action.
In the first half, and in 10 minutes they've got 11 points. That's 22 if they double it. They've got to find a way to score in the half court, Mike, or they're not going to be in this game in the next 10 minutes.
All right, Trey Gilliam takes the inbounds pass, the junior out of Defiance High School. Harassing defense on the part of the Wesleyan Wildcats, and that one, of course, causes Coach Greg Tonigal to sit down and just cover his eyes in disbelief. Excellent defense that time from Grant Evans, who got up on Trey Gilliam, and they really bailed Gilliam out because he was about ready to turn it over, but Evans picks up his third foul.
The Racers cannot get past this defense. It's just been so stifling in the second half.
Now Gilliam has it again after the pass from Sadiq Bello. Willis Mackey takes it, gives back to Bello. 18 on the shot clock. Racers down a point now. Sadiq off the dribble, shoots it, and hits it. Big basket for three from Sadiq Bello. And he now has 15 on the night, and the Racers regain the lead by 2.
And he basically made his own play, just shot over the defense.
Grant Evans hands it off, and then going inside, scramble for the ball, and it's taken away by Lawrence Jackson and the Racers. Turnover 5 this half for the Wildcats, 11 for the ball game. 63-61 UNOH, 8:55 to play. Gilliam, deep right wing. Trey will take it to the top of the key and hand to Corbin Pierce. Pierce, backside pass, Jackson wide open, he'll flush it. He got right by Jacob Johnson that time, and LJ now with 25. And a whistle. Timeout called by Indiana Wesleyan. So Greg Tonigal wants a full timeout here with 8:36 to play, and we'll take a break as well. On the Citizens National Bank station with 8.5 minutes to play, Racers have a 4-point lead at 65-61 over third-ranked Indiana Wesleyan, reigning NAIA Division II national champions, and a team that beat this Racer team by 39 points in Marion a year ago this time. Here's a drive to the goal and a nice score that time by Saiku Jallo. Found a little crease on the right side, and it paid off for him. 65-63 Racers. Gilliam out top, gives to Xander Smart, back to Trey Gilliam. Gilliam right wing, skip pass to Bello. He'll raise, he'll miss off the back flange, and the rebound comes to the Wildcats. They'll push it, and Bello's going to commit another foul. Fourth, Mike. Not a real good choice that time by Sadiq Bello, who was beaten defensively by Grant Evans, and he went up over his back and picked up his fourth foul, and he knows right what to do, go to the bench.
Well, that hurts because now you have Jackson, who's got a little bit of a problem with his legs right now. He's getting them stretched out. So Jackson and Bello, who shot them back into the lead with a 3 and a 2, are now not on the floor. So it makes their challenge offensively that much more difficult when those two guys are not in the game. And we still got 8 minutes to play.
And the Racers, Bob, in the first half, they were 12 of 12 at the free throw line. They have not shot a free throw here in 12 minutes of the second half.
Right, and Wesleyan, with 8 minutes on the clock, their next foul, the next Racer foul, they're in the double bonus.
Well, the front end of the 1-and-1 is good for Jacob Johnson, so he now has 16. And he can tie the ball game with another free throw.
And this is a group that had a lot of trouble with the pressure.
It is in and out. Page gets the rebound for UNOH. So the Racers keep the 1-point lead. But right now, they've got the reserves on the floor for the most part. Corbin Pierce, the only starter out there.
Corbin Pierce has got to step up and score in this situation.
Smart, good bounce pass. Gilliam, and he missed the layup try. Oh, Trey Gilliam got out of control as he went left to right under the basket. And a wide open point blank shot for Gilliam falls to the wayside. Wesleyan rebounds. They've got a 3-up and a 3-in. That'll be for Grant Evans. That is his 6th point. And all of a sudden, it's a 2-point Indiana Wesleyan lead as they seesaw back and forth. Page almost had the ball stolen. Finds Smart on the right side. To the block for Page. Daniel will back it off. And now steps inside and put it up. No good. Rebound Corbin Pierce. Stick back. No. Rebound Page. Went out away from him. Here comes Wesleyan with a loose ball. Jallo. Backside pass for Evans again. That 3 is no good. Rebound foul over the back, and Mahurin knew it. So Lane Mahurin lights up his 3rd.
And Lane Mahurin has only been off the floor for about a minute in the entire game. He really has played a lot of minutes tonight, and it's starting to show. He was just a little tired that time and went over the back.
Well, Lawrence Jackson's back on the floor for the Racers, trying to get those cramps out of his legs. Desmond Duke has come in now for Coach Chris Adams and brings it across the timeline, gives to Nate Bradley. Bradley back to Smart. Smart coming to the right point, finds LJ, shoots, and didn't get it. Rebound slapped around, finally controlled by the Wildcats of Wesleyan. And a near steal by Desmond Duke. He took it away from Jacob Johnson, but had to step on the end line to get it. And that'll be still in the control of IWU from their own baseline with 21 on the shot clock. Wesleyan leading by 2. They find Grant Evans on the inbounds play. He'll dump it outside to Peters. That 3 ball is no good. And Mahurin's tapped the rebound to himself and then misses. Lawrence Jackson clears for the Racers. Out to Bradley. Up ahead for Pierce. Coming to the rim. Got fouled. Did not finish. That gasp you heard was from Coach Sagerson, who can't believe we've had 3 layups missed here in the last minute.
Well, he was fouled on the shot.
He was fouled. That was a legitimate non-miss right there.
And Corbin has had a little trouble tonight finding the points. He only has 7. He's a 13-point scorer normally, but he's made a lot of big clutch shots for them this year. So don't be surprised if in these last few minutes that he heats up.
Well, Corbin misfires on the free throw, which is unusual for him. He's a 81% free throw shooter. That's the first free throw missed tonight for the Racers.
So I think it's important that he make this one, because I can't tell you how many times in my coaching career I saw a player heat up by making a free throw. Just kind of gets him into a rhythm.
All right, second one from the charity stripe. That's nothing but net. So 8 points for Corbin Pierce, and it's a 1-point lead for Indiana Wesleyan. 6:15 to play. We come down the stretch. Figured this would be a dandy, and it's really turned into that tonight. Here's a pass to the right corner by the Wildcats, and muscling his way through the lane, dumping it to Jacob Johnson. Johnson will put it up and get a foul. Wow. Corbin Pierce called for the foul. A little bit of a late call.
Very tough call. And now Pierce has to go out, and that's
he's done.
Yeah.
That's his 5th. Or is that his 4th? That's his 4th. That's the 4th on Corbin Pierce. Thought for a minute that was his 5th foul, but Jacob Johnson at the line now shooting 2. First one good.
Johnson's done a great job tonight attacking the rim. He has 16 points, and he is one of the key factors why Wesleyan has dominated paint baskets. I mean, they've outscored UNOH by double in the paint, and a lot of it has become from Johnson. When he gets the ball, just drives to the basket. He's very comfortable with either hand going to the rim. Big man goes to the rim.
All right, not sure what the situation is here. Unless we got another little blood situation for Jacob Johnson. He goes over to the training table and gets his left wrist wrapped up a little bit. 68-66 Indiana Wesleyan, 5:59 to play in the ball game.
They've got two Lawrence Jacksons on the floor with 25 points apiece now. I wish we had 2 of them.
Well, that would be nice. But unfortunately, it only works once. The scoreboard operators get somebody not in the game that is in the game, and that one is no good on the second try by Johnson. 1 out of 2, and then we get a ball thrown away by the Racers in the backcourt, so they turn it over after the missed free throw, and now we're going to have a discussion. The Racer fans say, no, that should be our ball, and it is Racer ball as the officials discuss it and get the call right.
It's almost like a home game for them. They have so many fans here, and you can hear them too. You bark in a gym like this, and everybody hears your bark. Ray Beatty is just still not really comfortable. You know, he's another one of these guys that just needs minutes.
All right, LJ to toss it in. Does so to Desmond Duke. Remember, Sadiq Bello on the bench right now with 4 fouls for Coach Chris Adams. We'll wait and see how long he waits to get him back on the floor. We're still only a 2-point game, and the Racers can tie or take the lead with a 3. Nate Bradley out top, gives to Z. Anderson off to Duke. Duke will penetrate and dish for Bradley. Bradley through traffic and turned the ball over on his dribble, says Mo Kincaid, our lead referee. I've got that as the 6th Racer turnover this half and 15th of the game.
Well, it was kind of a tough call. He did a stutter step and let that dribble come up a little too high, and normally that doesn't get called, but game like this, you can't argue it.
And we have the answer to our question. Sadiq Bellows back on the floor.
Yep.
So do or die with Sadiq now. He's got 4 fouls. Racers trail by 2, playing defense. Jacob Johnson drives in from the left side, spins in the lane, and offensive foul on Johnson. Good call that time as he put Z on his floor, on the floor with his rear end as he backed into him. So Johnson with his 3rd personal. It's turnover 6 for the Wildcats this half, and number 12 of the game. Still a 2-point Wesleyan lead at 68-66. That's the most they've led by all night. Racers have had as much as a 16-point lead if you're just joining us. But it all melted away with some unbelievable Indiana Wesleyan defense here in the second half. Anderson needs some help. Gives to Bello, and it went off of him, but out of bounds off of Jallo.
And again, give Indiana Wesleyan a lot of credit. They're not letting Bello get the ball back once the offense begins in the half court. They're just denying him.
Yeah, the defensive prowess of this Wesleyan team is unbelievable. LJ raises and misses a shot, and then the rebound comes to Wesleyan, and they scrape it away and get it out to
tough shot, Mike.
Saiku Jallo.
Very tough shot that he had to take that time. He actually shot it on the way down. Great defense.
Credit the Wildcat defense. They have really turned it up here in the second half.
And that's the difference in this game, is their defense in the second half.
And it's why they're the number 3 team in the country. The good look inside, easy catch and score for Mahurin. And here's a 4-point lead now for Indiana Wesleyan at 70-66. Chris Adams says, I want to talk it over.
Yeah.
4:22 to play in this basketball game, and you can see the cream rising to the top here with his 3rd-ranked Wesleyan Wildcat team. Mahurin, national champs, currently ranked 3rd in the country. And of course, the team in the Racer Conference, Cornerstone, is number 1 in the country. So it won't get any easier from here for the Racers as we get into league play starting next Wednesday night against Lourdes.
And these plays usually go inside to Jackson at the end of the play.
All right, Bello has it. He's on the left side. And he'll shake and bake to the baseline. Out to Bradley. Open 3 right wing, but he missed long. Rebound to Mahurin of Indiana Wesleyan. So the Racers just can't buy a shot here in the second half.
An air ball.
They got a decent play and a good look. It was an open look, not a contested one, but Nate Bradley overshot it.
But if you're Wesleyan, that's who you wanted shooting that basketball.
Now the Wildcats have it with Jallo out between the circles. Right side pass. They go baseline. They get it into Mahurin, but he overlaid it, and Bello comes away up the right side for UNOH. Pass to Corbin Pierce. Ball fake. Pierce back to Bello. Bello thought about a 3. Instead will dribble once and then hit a 3.
They needed that. 1-point game.
18 for Bello. 70-69. Indiana Wesleyan. 3:15 to play.
And they'll run clock here, Mike. They're a very good passing team, so they'll take it down to like 10. Well, they'll go inside.
There's the lob, and they beat Anderson. Mahurin at 6'7" got the best of Z and he's got 26 points tonight. Why he's a first-team NAIA All-American.
Yeah, and they cleared him out, and that play has been open all night for them.
72-69 IW. Nate Bradley for the Racers. Gives to Anderson. Z with the back cut, but they won't let Lawrence Jackson free. Johnson doing a good job now. Jackson hits a three. He stepped back behind the three line and shot it over Jacob Johnson. And LJ with 28 now. As the Racers tie the game at 72.
Racers need a stop here. They need a defensive stop. They know that ball's going to go inside. They're going to try to get it to their All-American.
Fourth tie tonight. Jallo drops it to Mahurin. He's 18 feet from the basket now. They give it on the wing to Grant Evans. Trevor Wade's on the floor. Now Mahurin for three. That's short. Bello gets fouled as he goes to grab the rebound. Jallo bumps him over the sideline and into that concrete wall at the end of Racer Gymnasium. So Jallo commits his third foul, but it will be a 1-and-1 for Sadiq Bello at the Racer end. 2:11 to play in a tie game at 72.
Like the last two possessions for the Racers, they got 3-point shots out of their two leading scorers, Bello and Jackson. Both shots were guarded. I mean, they were guarded well. Their athleticism trumped the defense.
All right, big 1-and-1 now for Sadiq Bello. The junior out of Greensboro, North Carolina, is going to hit the first one.
It's just been so money for UNOH all year in clutch situations down the wire. He has come up with so many big plays, and Corbin Pierce is the other one. If he gets just an inch, he can bury a big three.
Well, there was a game earlier, Bob, in November when Corbin didn't do much at all, then hit 2 threes in the final minute and won the game for the Racers. Bello hits both free throws. Racers lead by 2, 74-72, 2 minutes to play.
You know where they're going to go with this, Mike.
Jallo has it right side. They look for Mahurin, and they throw it out top to the three-point shooter, Grant Evans, and he buries one. He's hit all 3 of his field goals here in the second half with 9 points, and he gives the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats a 1-point lead at 75-74.
Jackson just a step late getting back to his offensive player.
All right, pass to Bello, left corner. Bello will back away, fire it, and miss it. Jackson has the weak side rebound and the stick back.
1-point game, 1-point lead, great game. 2 very good teams.
LJ with 30, and the Racers have a 1-point lead with 79 seconds left to play.
This is
eager to keep it right here.
It's been a great basketball game. It looked like that
left. And it'll be Wesleyan basketball.
And I think,
and here we go.
Zaire Anderson will try to guard the All-American.
All right, they're bringing it into Saiku Jallo, the junior from Bloomington. Right side pass to Evans. Grant Evans, who's made 3 threes here in the second half. Here's the lob, and Z bunks it away. And the Racers do not get the basketball. And a nice recovery that time by Jacob Johnson. He lays it in off of the window. Oh, it looked like the Racers had created the turnover, but Jacob Johnson made a great hustle play, got the loose ball in the paint, Bob, and put it in to give Wesleyan a 1-point lead. Now time is stopped.
I don't know why the time was stopped. I don't know why the clock, nobody called a timeout, I don't think.
I'm not sure what happened because of I was writing the basket down in my scorebook, but at any rate, the Racers are going to have possession because of the made basket.
The Racers could not have played that defensive any better. They tipped the ball in the air, and it just went to the wrong person. It's really a great job.
All right, Racers need 1 to take tie and 2 to lead, but we're under a minute to play. Here comes UNOH. Sadiq Bello into the forecourt. Bello lobs it to Corbin Pierce, left of the foul line. He'll handle the lead to Lawrence Jackson. LJ back out top to Bradley. Now to Bello. 12 to shoot. Racers down 1. Here's Bello. Weaving to the wing. Got by the defense. Gets inside. Blocked out of bounds. Foul call on Indiana Wesleyan. A blocking call on the baseline. And Coach Greg Conagle runs 10 feet up the sideline on the far side. Can't believe that call. But it was not a reaching foul. It was a body block along the baseline that will be on Mahurin, his 4th, and put the Racers' best free throw shooter at the line for 2.
He's got 2 shots, and the nice thing for Wesleyan is they're going to get the ball back with 30 33 seconds on the clock, so they can take it right down and take the last shot.
First one for Sadiq, yes. We're tied at 77. Fifth tie tonight. Bello looking for the go-ahead point. On its way. Count it.
Bello, just ice. Just ice.
All right, Racers by 1. We're down to 30 seconds.
Again, it's going to go inside.
And a poke away by Anderson, but it went out of bounds. Z with that tough defense out front on Mahurin. He is guarding the All-American, and now Greg Conoco takes his final timeout with 25.4 seconds left. Grant Evans, just to the left and below our WIMA microphones. Evans throws it into Saiku Jallo.
Wow, it is his own, Mike. It is his own.
They go zone, and let's see if they get the shot out. There's the give and go, and it will be a basket for number 44, Jacob Johnson. He drove left baseline and got it. So it's do or die for the Racers. They're going to call timeout with 9 seconds left and down 1.
Chris was trying to get that timeout with 15 seconds still on the clock, but 9.6 seconds. You got to figure they're going to get something out of this. They're going to have to run if they do score. So let's see how Lawrence Jackson gets himself open, or if it's Sadiq.
Bradley is the inbounder. They run a play, and they inbound it to Sadiq. Sadiq will wrap it around, and the Racer player didn't see the ball coming. And it went out of bounds finally off of a Wildcat with 6.3 seconds left. That was supposed to be a wraparound to Zaire Anderson, but Z never saw the ball coming. So the Racers have to play it again without a timeout from the baseline.
Yeah,
6.3 seconds to go. Here we go. LJ, the trigger man this time, and a whistle. Before the shot, we're going to get a foul call on Indiana Wesleyan for holding one of the Racers. And that was the lead official, Mo Kincaid, who made the call. So the referee, the number 1 ref in this game, and they're going to get Sadiq Bello at the free throw line. Well, if you're the Racers, you love this.
Yeah, but there's 6.3 seconds left, and that's an eternity.
Sadiq to tie, yes, sir.
And the other part of this, Mike, is in 6.3 seconds, this team can drive down the floor. They're going to get to the rim. Somebody's going to get to the rim right now. I'm surprised Chris doesn't have somebody off that line, because they're going to get the ball and drive the entire length of the floor here. Oh, we're going to get it.
Bello again for the lead. Yes, Sadiq Bello. Absolute money at the free throw line. Racers lead 80-79. No timeouts left. And it will have to come the length of the court.
Ray Beatty in to protect the rim. He needs to go back to the rim, not to half court. Go back to the rim, Ray Beatty.
Coach Chris Adams says, get back. Here they come. Do or die now for Indiana Wesleyan. Jallo to the corner. 3-ball. No! Racer tip. No! Racers upset the number 3 team in the country. The UNOH Racers get a standing O from the fans at Racer Gymnasium.